It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Not being fair to Kathy Mahoric because I'm talking about all these wonderful, delicious offerings and then expecting her to focus in upon why she's here. Kathy, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you with us this morning. Our conversation is brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. You and I were trying to figure out how many years you've been doing this longest night service at Grace Church. It's been a while.
Yeah, I was just thinking while you were doing the advertisement for Commonplace, I know for a fact that I had a service in 2017. Mm-hmm. So that, I believe, was the first service that we did at Grace for the longest night.
So this would be the seventh one.
Can you believe it?
Wow. And
actually, that would be sixth one, right?
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This makes this number 23, Kathy.
My math isn't good this morning.
Trust me.
I trust you.
Okay, so this is the seventh one.
Yeah.
And explain the concept, because it's rather unusual for this time of the year when everybody's thinking festivities to maybe step back a little bit and reflect.
Right. It's really funny. When I was listening to the station this morning and you were talking about the conversation that you had with JD, it's like God speaking, because that's exactly how I was going to prepare this year, like recognizing that it is the darkest night of the year. It's the winter solstice, and that, yes, it is the darkest night, but the light of Jesus will shine brighter in that light.
Yeah. It always shines brightest when it is the darkest.
Yeah. It's sad, but true.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just human nature that when you're going through something, whether it's a death or whether it's a divorce or whether it's health, those are the three catalysts to put you in a downward spiral. Mm-hmm. And I mean, studies show that when it's dark, that's not good for your spirit as well. And so people are seeking for something brighter than what they have.
Yeah. The psychiatric profession calls it seasonal affective disorder. But we know that melancholy can set in. And when others are celebrating so much around you, and you've suffered a loss, particularly a recent loss, and whether it's a spouse, a child, a parent, whatever it might be, a job, any of this, anything that causes you to grieve, it becomes darker still when others around you aren't in that same boat with you.
Yeah. I had a conversation with my Grief Share group yesterday. We completed our series for the fall into the winter, and I was explaining, they were asking about the Thursday night service, and I was explaining to them, everyone else is just like bouncing around you, they're smiling and, they've got the festive clothing on and they're excited, and like no one knows what you're going through. Mm-hmm. And it's important for you to recognize it. And that's what this service does. It allows you to recognize it, not dwell on it, but recognize it and look towards the hope of the future.
It's a pretty important step in the healing process.
Very important.
Yeah. So the service begins when?
It is Thursday night, the 21st at 7 p.m. at Grace Church in our sanctuary. Mm-hmm. And you can come in the front or the back door.
There you go. Sure. I did a funeral service on Friday. And I remarked to the people there, because there were a lot of tears, as there are.
Yeah.
I remarked to the people there, it happened that where this funeral home was located, the dinner was being held across the parking lot at a venue right next door. And I said, you're going to walk across that parking lot over there, and it will not be long after you're there, sitting down to your meal, that the laughter comes. Mm-hmm. I said, and the transition from one to the other is sometimes awfully difficult but it is perfectly natural. And we want that transition because of the realization that while life might have ended here, it goes on there. It's just in another place.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. And a lot of people will say at my office, like when I bring a family in that's grieving and we're going to work through the service and we'll sit down and, like you said, when they walk in, they're very sad. And within a few minutes of listening and talking and asking them about their family member, the laughter begins, momentarily. Mm-hmm. But a piece of God's light into their life, even then.
Yeah. So the structure of this service is different on Thursday too.
Yeah, it's a lot different. Yeah. And nobody really understands that. I was just saying this yesterday at our grief group. Nobody really understands that service unless you have experienced deep grief. Mm-hmm. And I don't have them sing. I don't have the lights bright and everything, all the set music exciting and happy and joyful. It's a more somber service where they can just be somber, and it's okay.
Sometimes we don't give ourselves that permission.
Sometimes we don't, especially at church. You walk into the church and you just feel like, everybody's looking at you, which they're not, but you feel that way. Mm-hmm. And whenever you can just express how you feel or not express it, that's a safe place.
Yeah, yeah. And so the longest night service coming up, again, 7 o'clock on Thursday at Grace Church here in Indiana, mm-hmm. Is something that you want folks to know is available not just to members of Grace Church.
Oh, my goodness, no.
But to members of the community, anybody who wants to come, who is there to support others or is grieving themselves.
Yeah, it's really nice if you have a friend that can walk that journey with you, that can be there with you. Sometimes, though, the solitude of it is really nice because you don't have to put on any airs at all. You can just be yourself in that moment.
You've walked that journey yourself.
Yeah, I have. That's what really sparked the interest in myself to start this service at Grace. My husband, Daniel, he passed away in 2001. And so it's been quite a while. But I lost my mom just 2 years ago in December, and I lost, Vince and I lost our daughter just a year ago in December. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're actually going through that grieving process this Christmas ourselves.
Yeah, some people try to put a time limit on it, too.
Yeah.
Shouldn't do that.
No, there's no time limit. Everyone is different.
And at the same time, you embrace the light.
I do.
And you allow the light to shine in you.
Yeah, I do.
On you and in you.
I try.
Yeah.
God is good. Without God, I couldn't have done it. Mm-hmm. With God, it tells us in the scriptures all things are possible.
Yeah. All right. So everybody invited.
Everybody invited.
Grace Church, it's the longest night service on Thursday, the 21st. Always on the 21st.
Always on the 21st, no matter what day it is.
Mm-hmm. And it's at 7 p.m. Everybody can come.
Thank you.
Kathy, thank you so much for the visit.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. It's always good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
It is Indiana in the Morning, and it's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Coming up, Jake is in the newsroom. He'll be by in just a few moments, and then we'll visit with you from the sports desk. Mark Hilliard is with us in our next half hour from the Indiana County Chamber of Commerce. Let's do the health cycle now. Jacqueline Carl is on the health beat with us this morning.